Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys, and we are live, baby! Alright, it's Matt Marrero and Tristan Walter. I introduced you to yourself, Tristan. Say hi.
Hi.
Good. Sorry, I'm pumped right now because we haven't gone live in a while. That's one. Two, we're talking about 9 to 10 of Samurai Jack. Three, it was not a bad ending. I think we can have some criticisms, but in terms of in terms of what actually happened, right? I gotta say, this is what I wanted all along, and the fact they came back to finish this and they aren't milking this, even though I'm sure you could have made another season out of this, but the fact that they didn't sit there and milk it. And it's Ashi's dead, everyone's dead. There's no way to take this. There is absolutely no way to take this unless you literally fuck it over completely and be like, actually, he's not really in the past. Or it's you got to go back to the future. It's like, God damn it. So
I mean, I'm kind of sad. Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, I'm not saying I'm not sad to see it end. I know it's a bit different timeline-wise. For me, it's just this past year. And I've known about it for years. For you, it's been ever since you were a kid. I mean, you even saw this episode with your dad, and you mentioned to me during some of the podcasts that we did for the original series that you would watch this with your dad as a kid. So, it's such a beautiful moment, I'm sure, for you, for him, just, together, and I'm sure for a lot of people out there who may have either seen this as kids or, with family. It's funny. I was going to say, maybe even see it with their kid now, and then I remembered, and I was like, no. In terms of, if you were a kid watching it, and now it's like, no, don't show your kids now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just got to say, man, it ended well, right? Again, we can complain about some things here and there. But I feel like, it all made sense. I was in a way, I think it took a while for the effects to kind of, hit Ashi, but they should have hit Ashi. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It would have been nice to give him everything, but I think it was in true Samurai Jack fashion that they gave him his time with his family again. Sure, they took Ashi away from him through death and through never existing. But I don't think anyone can really because I know people were, and understandably so, I think, were saying, hey, after Ashi and Jack kiss, after their kiss in episode 8, things weren't going to work out well for Ashi, and she was just going to, it's funny, she's going to disappear and fade into the background. No, well, I mean, yes, but
God damn it,
because Aku's, I know, right? But because Aku's dead, not because they kissed. What?
Too soon.
No, but I'm trying to say that, it wasn't because of the fact that, she kissed Jack. It's because of the fact that you kill Aku, you kill her. Yes, I would argue they could have kept her because not many shows really, keep time travel, the rules straight. But they wanted to go for a more direct approach of, hey, Aku doesn't exist. She is a daughter of Aku. This was planned from the beginning, not something that happens after she kisses Jack, Also, there was romance there between both of them, but it wasn't too overpowering that it made her feel like she was useless, like she was a background character. And also at the end, right, she has to, fight and get, and break out of this shell. And yes, with the help of Jack, but still, in a way, but still, I don't know. I thought it was, I don't know. I think that her character was done well. Maybe you could say that episode 10 was a bit rushed because you even said before the episode began, how are they going to do all this?
Yeah, wrap all this up in 22, 23 minutes.
Yeah, and I do think it was a little rushed, right? But I don't, but I still feel like with the time that they had, they did a good job kind of wrapping everything up. And just giving Jack his own life. Now, I'm not saying that I'd never want media focusing on his new life in the past, because I'm sure there's some shit going down. But, nothing Aku level, just maybe, some normal people that he needs to fight. But still, I think you could follow that through comic books or video games or something like that. But I think it's just really nice to see that Jack made it back.
Mm.
And your take?
It's all so raw, Matt. I don't have time to put thoughts to process everything. No.
All right, we're never doing a live show again. All right.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. It's me from the future coming back. No! You have to stop this cast! No! I'm wielding a sword for whatever reason.
That sounds about right.
Actually, it does. Yeah, that's basically my only complaint about this, is that it feels so short. Because, like, they jump back into the future, and I get it. It's like, in the heat of the moment in the battle, it's like, wait. It's like, you have Aku's powers. I have Aku's powers. They don't even say it. She just does it. That was nice, but it was like...
Yeah. It's one of those... It's an interesting situation.
That he didn't get to say... he didn't get to say goodbye to anybody in the future, though. It's like, thank you. Like, just to thank you. Anything. Even the Scotsman, just to thank you. Just something.
I mean, I think we discussed the fact that obviously we discussed it in this show, but just in general, I think we've talked about how they don't exist, sadly. So, like, none of them exist now that Jack has done this.
I suppose.
And I know, the thought is, no, of course they exist, but it's like, no, but Tristan, taking into account the fact that Aku affected everyone's lives. And so, like, for all we know, like, the reason why the Scotsman exists is because, like, someone died here to then give birth here. Like, all this shit. So, like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, with the way the future worked, like, under Aku's rule, I feel like a bunch of those people would never have met, which is kind of sad in a way, because it's like, no, but, they met through Jack and, and everything, and they were there for Jack. And I think that was a beautiful moment to show, because they had shown it throughout the show, but what I really enjoyed was people coming together that we didn't see, where we had the Jump Good folk.
Yes.
And we also had the dog. I got to be honest, that dog, I was really wondering when he was going to fucking appear, because I was like, they're not really showing him. He appeared in, like, the first, like, episode. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the first 3 episodes. I was like, okay, I guess we're not going to have, Archeala dog. And all of a sudden, it's like Grandpa, and I'm like, oh! And then, of course, they got the same voice actor, too, and I was like, yes! I was really happy. Like, overall, I think the cameos, again, while the episode was a bit too short, like, I feel like the episode should have been a 2-parter. But at the same time, though, when it comes to the ending, where they only just showed, the past in, via just some, no dialogue mostly, just them showing the scenes, it felt like Original Samurai Jack anyway, and something they would do. But so I don't know what that would have been in a 2-parter. I don't know if I would have wanted a lot of dialogue there and too much focus on the past. But yeah, I'll tell you that I think it should have been a 2-parter, most definitely, because it felt a bit too condensed for me. Not that it was bad, just condensed. Like you said, just trying to really get shit done. And it's hard for you to feel the impact when it was so brief. And it was less than 24 minutes because like at the 24-minute mark, like as we're watching it live, the credits hit. And I'm like, how long was this episode? Is there a director's cut I'm unaware of?
There are deleted scenes. It changes the whole game.
But you know what I mean, though, right? Like when you look at, and I know you had to air that little thing at the end, but like, that little cool thing that kind of summarized like the season. But when you look at, but really though, when you look at, I mean, maybe the other episodes weren't that long either, and I haven't realized it. But at 24 minutes, when the credits hit, I was like, wait, we've had 2 commercials, I had thought. So I'm thinking, how long has this episode been? There needs to be a longer cut of this somewhere. Hoping a DVD kind of like, makes it a little bit longer, kind of get to expand on some stuff going on. But, yeah, it's over, Tristan. I feel like I'm talking a lot on your behalf, but it's over.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
Stop saying it's over, Matt. Stop it. Stop. It's not.
Okay, fine then. Jack is eternally cursed in the future.
Shut up.
He's unhappy. Do you like that? He doesn't age. Is that what you prefer?
All right, well, you know what? It was funny well, not funny in the traditional sense because that sentence you just said, but because both me and my dad, like, as they do the slow-mo of Jack coming in to stab Aku, the final piece that's running away, I'm like, please don't pull some bullshit with Ashi right now. Please, dear God, don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't happen, so I'm like, oh, crap. He's getting his happy ending. And of course the idea is like, well, she never existed if Aku didn't, is still running in the back of my head, but I'm like, no, shut up. They're getting married. He's home. He's goddamn home. And as she's walking up, like, me and my dad both said it at two different points, it can't be this easy. And then she faints, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And even my, like, she fades away from existence, and my dad's just like, God damn it.
But
it's like I get it. I know. I get it. I know why it happened. But just he runs off, and he's just out in the woods, and he's just there. I mean, I thought that the touch with the ladybug flying onto his finger, because that was the first form of life that Ashi actually touched, was a ladybug.
Yeah.
So, in a way,
I think it was more like reincarnation.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Yeah. Well, for me, the reason why I was happy with it is because happy it sucks that she died, but like I thought from there, okay, how is Jack going to be? How is he going to look? And so he's just kind of riding off, and his hair is down, and I'm like, oh no. He's back to.
He has a beard
gotta
again.
Get back. Like, yeah, no, like, because dude, like after the one person you love, like I've never seen him have a love interest minus Aku, legit. So, we have never seen a love interest in the show. So like she dies, and you would think that would destroy him, but he, the ladybug flies off of his finger, and you see him smiling, and I think that's what got me the most is that like. He's still able to smile and live because, it's like, yes, he's lost battles, but he won the war. And he's able to just sit and won the war as in he's back home, right? Like he's able to be with his family. I mean, just flashback to the first few episodes of this season where literally he was having visions of his family calling him a failure.
Right.
Like that he was going to commit ritual suicide.
Yeah. For his failure.
Yes, his perceived failure. So it is just the fact that he was able to come back. I mean, of course it's sad, it's no doubt, but he's still able to live. Like I don't know, like it's just he's alive.
Yeah.
So that smile at the end there.
Live his life now, basically.
Yeah.
Although
so that smile at the end there, it was I don't know. But what?
Oh yeah, no, it's nice. Like I'm not saying I didn't like how they wrapped it up. I'm not saying that.
I know.
Because
no, I'm just saying that I'm happy. I'm just saying that I think it would have been sad. Yeah. Well, I'm saying like I don't know if I would have liked it if he was stern-faced or looked sad. Like I like that they sat back and wanted to, even through the pain, end it on a happy note or like an upbeat note. And I know it's hard because that's why I said it was a little rushed because both moments happen so close to each other. It's hard for me to use the words upbeat and happy when it's like she literally disappeared, evaporated right in front of us. But just the idea that, he's smiling, I think that's just a good note to end the show on rather than like stern, upset Jack.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, what?
The only thing about all this, like, yes, it's wrapped up. Jack gets back to the past. He destroys Aku before he enslaves the entire world and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember to the 2-part special, The Birth of Evil, when Jack's father fights Aku. Jack's father also defeated Aku and drew him into the sword and banished him back into the ground.
Right.
If you really think about it, evil is a concept. And it's kind of one of those things, you can't have good without evil. It's evil's a concept. You can't destroy it. He can banish Aku, but the thought is evil will always exist and will always return. So really,
so you're thinking
Aku
of the same...
will come back someday.
So you're thinking
Not
of
to
the
say
same
that Jack...
spin-off that I am. Not so much
well,
with Jack, just with Samurai Jack Black.
What?
Do you care to comment on that? Not so much with like Jack, because I think his story is done, but if we bring Jack Black into the fold, I think that it would just make sense.
So
I feel
you're
like
saying
I've broken
that
him,
Jack
everyone.
Black
This is the best thing.
is Samurai Jack's son? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
No, not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But like he still has to fight Aku.
Yeah.
While also
And
being a famous Hollywood actor and leader of the one member of the band Tenacious D. He can do the song for Samurai Jack Black. Back to the past. I feel like I've broken him, everyone, and I'm so excited. Like he's just
Good night,
speechless,
everybody.
and I've never gotten him speechless. What? Good night, everybody. All right, good night, everybody. No, but in all seriousness, though, do you think that they would ever, again, not with Jack, right? We don't need Jack, but like, do you think they would ever want to maybe revisit a future where, like, not even present day? Although I think present day would be nice because that's something we never really got. We never got like a present day, like feel out of this show. It was either future or past, which duh. But still, you could say that maybe one day they'd do something like that. I
mean, no, I don't really think it's something that they're going to revisit. It's just an idea for the mythos of this universe. It's that we've seen Aku defeated once before, and we know that he eventually returns. So, in my mind, I would say Jack will always be on guard for the day when he returns.
Okay, but I would just prefer... Yes. No, I would prefer that if this ever was revisited, though, I know you weren't referring to that exactly, but, like, still, obviously it's a show, I would not want Jack to be around. I love Jack, but I want him to live his life. I want him to think that Aku is dead, and maybe he comes back as a Force ghost. I just don't want him to, I never want to see a show with him again. Maybe a comic book, right? That's what I said, maybe a video game. Definitely a video game, actually. Fuck yeah, a video game. But maybe a comic book, right? But I don't ever want to see Jack again. And I say that because I want him to just have a nice, peaceful life. And I feel like if I see any more of him, it's going to be with more tragedy. And it's like, please, no.
Yep.
Just live. Like, have kids, and then one day in, the Neo future, Aku comes back. But everyone knows about Aku, so they're prepared to just... Either that or, they have, super cool weapons to just annihilate Aku.
Well, I think that's always going to be the thing. The sword is always going to be there. Someone will always be the next one to pick up the sword and fight against
I'm just saying
Aku.
In the future, they can harness the sword in other ways because technology. I'm talking about, I'm just talking about, naturally as the show goes. Because, the reason why they never use that with Jack is because Jack is not from the present or future. So he would never, have, a sword cannon or weird shit like that.
I guess.
I'm just, because he's a samurai. He has no idea how to, he even said, I don't know how this technology works.
Oh.
But yeah. No, I was just trying to say that, I was just trying to say, right, putting all this, talk about like spin-offs and shit like that aside, I'm just happy that they went along with it because I was a little nervous. I actually sat back and I thought they're going to pull some shit and we're going to have another season. But they actually stuck to their goal. Because I don't know, like I know you don't watch much TV, but I've been lied to before, Tristan, where like I've seen shows that were like, here is our, 10-part miniseries. And you're like, that's really cool. And then you're like, wait, it was kind of open-ended. Are they trying to do another season? And I'm like, I hope not, even though I like the show, whatever, And all of a sudden, season 2 coming. I was like, motherfuckers, you can't call it like a miniseries if there's more than one season. So in this case, I enjoyed the fact that they actually stuck by their goal, right? They didn't sit, I don't know what might happen in the future. I don't know if technically if they own Jack in any way, because technically, depending on who owns Jack, Cartoon Network can say goodbye, everyone. We're going to do another one of these. So
yeah,
I hope not. To be fair. But it looks like they've wrapped it up, and everyone's okay with that, and Matt is okay with that. But, yeah. Anything else you want to comment? Because, remember, we are talking about episode 9 as well, so I don't want to just stick to 10. So anything about 9 that you want to bring up? I mean, did you like the fact that, the way they transitioned right into, Ashi being possessed, and then literally, like, they really set up episode 10 like as a nail biter, because you're really wanting to see what's coming up next. So anything?
Yeah, I think the setup for 10 was nice. 9, like, also the same idea. It felt a little rushed, like when I saw it at first, but now seeing 10, like, it makes sense the way they did it, and that they didn't throw much else into it. It's basically just Aku coming, they leave the space station, and I like the idea that Jack has a conversation with himself one last time, but it's with his more depressed self, but the sane one, not the angry murder everything one.
Yeah, no, because it's kind of like that's like a rational fear, in a way,
right?
Like.
Yeah, but he just sees himself, and the beard, and the long hair returns, and he's just like, be careful. He's like, I know. I'm like, what are you going to do? It's like,
what are we going to do tonight,
know.
Brain? The same thing we do every night,
before.
Jackie. Oh.
Yeah. And the fact that he leaves is kind of, it's like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. And, of course, Ashi follows him, and it's like, where the fuck do you think you're going? It's like, well, I was going to try and leave you out of the death and tragedy that follows me at every waking moment of my life, but, here you are, so I guess you're in this for the long haul. She's like, you're damn straight I am. It's like, all right.
But yeah, so I don't know, just looking at this, thinking about this, I'm happy. I'm content. Right? I have my problems.
Yeah.
I have my issues, right? But I don't think there's, of course we're still going to, try and talk about this a little bit here and there, but I feel like, I'm happy that there isn't speculation for once, right? Because I feel like every episode of anything we do, there's usually some kind of speculation, either what the next movie will be like, what the future of the franchise will be, and, what the next episode is on anything. And I think it's just nice for once to be like, it happened. It was a thing. It existed. Yeah. We all exist on this plane.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's up. But but you're right, though. 9, it felt... Well, the one thing I'll say is, and this is... Now we're getting into complaints. Like I said...
What
like
Matt
I said
Marrero
last
is best at.
Yeah. Fuck you. And so, that's a complaint.
I gave him what he wanted. Everyone.
It was I. No.
Matt
actually,
Marrero.
Wait a minute. Pause on the complaints for 1 second. Aku apparently made the opening to his own show.
Yes.
The fact that, because I got to admit, me sitting back, I'm like, this does seem very pro Aku.
Yeah.
like the opening from the old show, I'm like, actually, it is kind of pro Aku.
Oh, that was
anyway.
Actually, like, not gonna lie, that was hysterical and done very well. And it's like,
also,
of course, everyone in the future has a TV set that's just, linked directly to Aku's lair, so he can always talk to you and be in your head and be like, I rule you. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. Oh, the samurai? Oh, yeah. Guess what? I have him now, too. Got the sword, got Jack, and I'm trying to figure out what weapon I should stab him with. Help me. Send in your votes over
my God.
Over Aku Mobile, and we'll, one for this blade, 2 for this blade, 3 for this blade, and 4 for that one. Whatever gets the most votes, I will use to finish off the samurai.
What I think was great was that it's just like, just the fact that, Jesus, everyone has that TV, yes, but I don't know, just like such, like it was so interesting. Like it was basically state propaganda, which is why it was really funny to me. And also, again, just like the opening itself, him taking too long to choose, of course. Generally, I like that this show was like, it really, like I think I said this a while ago, just we need to have Aku's hubris be the death of him. And it kind of has been in some ways, but I think it's so fun that it really was like the death of him quite literally, because it's like he makes, like Aku literally just had to leave his house to kill Jack at any point. And I know he didn't know about the sword until episode 9, but what I'm saying is that the sword seemingly has never stopped him before, right? So he could have killed Jack so many times over. What does he do? He just chills out. He's like, whatever, man, I'm just going to stay, it doesn't matter. Also, I'll make the daughters of Aku, whatever, right?
Mm.
So, like, just in general,
oh, yeah,
it's just,
that one time.
I couldn't fucking stop. Like, I've never had Kit. Wait a minute, actually.
Wait.
And then flashes. No, but what's funny, it flashes to the original horrifying scene, but in a way that's supposed to be comical, and that in itself made me laugh.
Well, because Aku's even and then she must have drank, and then that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I love it. No, yeah, I just love it so much. Like, apparently he had forgotten about his own plans, because it's like, does it kill the samurai? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. So, but I'm saying that he literally could have done it himself at any point. But he didn't, and because he didn't, it came back to bite him in the ass. I love it. The one thing that I want to say is, before I go back to my complaint, I want to say something that I want to do, and this is polite, by the way. So you can tell me to go fuck myself, but it's polite. A polite I told you so. Because I am pretty sure that the last Samurai Jack episode we did, you were like, I don't think we're going to see more of Scaramouche, man. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like he'd like merge with a sea creature. You were like, I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to see him anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the episode
fair enough.
9 literally opened up.
Baby, yeah. Scaramouche to the past, Scaramouche to the past. Oh, God. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Oh, my.
Like,
yeah,
Scaramouche
basically
comes back with Jack in the time portal. It's like, well, this is awkward. Like, everyone in Jack's hometown starts freaking out. There's a robot. He's like, I'll take care of this. And he murders it in front of everybody. It's like, you just killed him. No, you don't understand. It's not a person. He's a murderer. Jack.
My God. No, I think it would be more like, Jack, who is your friend? And all of a sudden he's just like, bringing scat to the past, baby. Yeah.
Slices him in half. He didn't want to know.
You do not want to know who he is. I liked his music. I did too, baby. Like, he's like, wait. Because he doesn't know he has to destroy the head.
Right.
Because Jack thought he killed him. But apparently, but no, but anyway, so, like, let's talk about, because even though I said that I don't think Ashi was ruined, right, by that kiss or by the love interest stuff with Jack, it was rushed. Like, let's be real here. Like, I don't think it was written well. I think that they deserve to be together. I want them to be together. I didn't think of them together at first, but then when it happened,
I thought, we can't have all the things that we want, now can we, Matt?
No, we can't. But thankfully you got what
Jack.
you wanted in Jack going to the past again. I love how Tristan's acting like he murdered his family got murdered in a rage or something, and like he is on an eternal torture rack. It's like Jack's like, I am happy, and you're like, no, you're not. And he's like, no, I am happy. But anyway,
I mean,
but no,
he's
I'm just
as
saying
happy
that
as he can be. We'll put it that way.
Okay, but come on now. Like, his goal was, I want to get back to the past.
I know.
Then
no,
he found
like,
her,
yes,
which is a beautiful thing. Okay.
Right.
No, because to say, like, oh, he's as happy as he can be makes it seem like, man, it's, I don't know, like, I feel like it comes off as, like, a half-empty kind of thing. Like, he should be happy. He gets to see his family again.
Yes.
Like, as great as she was, they knew each other for, like, a week.
Okay.
So
we're going to throw Disney logic at it now.
Yes, we are. I don't know what that means, but yes.
The idea of knowing someone for like a day and then getting married to them.
That's basically what happened,
logic.
though. I mean, granted, it made sense in the war-torn world that is Aku's future. Although, to be fair, I'm not saying Jack came back to, like, complete peacetime. Like, I love that I'm making it feel like Jack came back to a utopia. Isn't it nice how there's no crime or famine? But anyway, but still, I'm sorry, but, like, it's not like he came back to a utopia. But the point is that, it's his home, and that's what mattered. It's what he knows, and he wants to see his family. So, I just think that it's, I wanted some more time with Ashi and Jack, I think, getting to know each other better. I'm not saying that they didn't build up, I'm not saying they didn't build up, I guess, some kind of interest, a small kind of interest, but I truly did not think until their kiss that there was any, other than that one episode alone, that there was any romantic interest between the two of them. So I have to admit, again, I don't think she was ruined because of that romantic interest. But I also think that it would have been nice to have a little bit more, because, granted, I'm not saying it should have happened after. That's the problem, too, because you can't do it too much after, because then it's like, no, she's going to get possessed, and then the world is going to be in danger, and then Jack's going to be captured. Like, I wouldn't say that we needed some more love involved there. So much so that that all of a sudden people are starting to vomit, like, oh, God. But I'm being serious. Like,
I know.
What? I'm just saying that
They're
a bit too much and all of this. What about the Woolies?
The elephant people. You call them the elephant people, the Woolies. You always forget they're called the Woolies.
I didn't say elephant people this time.
You said elephant people.
No,
you said the elephant people would be vomiting if there was more love.
No, I said the people would be vomiting. Why would I be talking about the Woolies? I'm talking about everyone watching at home. The Woolies are not watching. I hope they're not watching Jack and Ashi. That's weird.
Oh, I mean, well, everyone was kind of watching them for a bit there. Aku
no, I know.
Running the whole television
you're right.
show.
You're right. No, fair enough. I'm talking about like throughout the show itself, where it's just like, why is being naked a problem?
Oh God.
Like just. Well, when a mommy woolly and a daddy woolly, we're stopping right here. We're going to pause this, and we're never going to get back to it. We're going to take that memory, and we're going to burn it. All right. But no, I would have liked some more development. That's all I'm saying. But
oh God.
And I have to admit. What?
Yeah. No,
what were you going to say? Sorry.
Nothing.
Oh.
No,
I'm saying.
No.
Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. And so we're not doing a podcast or anything. But I was going to say that at first I told you, hey, he had to get back to the past. It just made sense, whatever. But I understand your point for him to say goodbye to everyone. It's a feel-good moment that even though we had him, again, I'm like, he smiled at the end. He got to the wedding day, which was pretty far for Jack, without someone dying. It's a new personal record, and so.
Well, that's the other thing too. There must have been at least a few days, like at least 1 or 2 days at the very least, that passed between Jack destroying Aku in the past and them returning back to, his village, his
Yeah, it's super delayed. Time is delayed.
Because
time was late.
The first episode, his father is being used as slave labor in one of the mines. When he goes, when he gets the sword and he goes into Aku's lair, his father is there, and he saves his father, and then he says, "I'm going to defeat Aku." And he goes out and fights him. So he must have destroyed Aku, rescued his father, brought him home, and then found his mother, and I guess they would have rebuilt or tried to rebuild, because everything was back the way it was before Aku showed up. So
it's interesting to think what they were able to do.
Yeah, there's an interesting gap there.
Yeah,
I understand why they glossed over that and just like, no, everything's fine. They just returned home. Like that's just how it's going to be.
I definitely can't wait for episode commentary because I believe they would talk about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe they would say, "Oh yeah, it's probably a few days." Like we just wanted to kind of zoom through it because just constraints. But I assume that but that's why I said it's weird that it was delayed. I said this earlier. It's weird that it was delayed, but it kind of made you second guess yourself whether or not she's going to live or not, or just exist really, because it's not like she died. She just never existed. But the question becomes, though, so she exists, right? Let's just leave her. Don't worry. She and Jack will love each other, and they'll make wonderful Jack Aku babies. Now, whose fan fiction are we serving here, really? I just want to put that out there.
I mean, just the fact that Ashi had all of Aku's powers, and even Aku making the joke, you tried to raise them right, and then, your daughter runs off with your mortal enemy. What's a dad to do? It's like, Aku, you shut the fuck up right now.
That was one of my favorite moments in the entire episode.
I'm sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. So much of the comic relief shifted onto Aku, the epitome and essence of evil. But they had to keep the humor in there somewhere because Jack has been going through so much shit. And they made his character a little darker. So, the humor from there is kind of lessened a bit. So they're like, where's all the extra humor going to go? Let's bring it to this guy.
But here's the thing, right? It's smart because this show was tailor-made for adults, right? So what does that mean? That means that I don't think anyone going into this as an adult, or at least as a teenager, who may have saw it when they were younger, is scared of Aku. Like when you're a kid, yes, there were some funny moments with Aku. There were a fair amount, let's be real. But at the same time, wanted to be. But at the same time, the show wanted you to be afraid of Aku in some ways. In some other ways, I think they had to dial it down, tone it down at certain points. But you still were like, oh man, I'm scared. What's going to happen here? Yada yada. Now that you're older, right? It's kind of like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? He exists. You're not going to be scared. Although, the first moment with the Daughters of Aku being born, that was fucking creepy. Right.
Right.
But other than that, Aku exists. So it's better to go this route than the, I will kill all of the Daughters of Aku if they do not, follow my lead. In fact, and then kills one of them on the spot. I think they went the better route here. Instead of having him try to be, so merciless and evil, it's it's still kind of adhering to the roots of the show. There was some stuff throughout this series, this season that I wasn't a big fan of, but, with how they tried to make, kind of sit back and go, it's on Adult Swim, so let's do it like this. But minus those few moments, I feel like it was a show that, it was Samurai Jack. It wasn't trying to be anything else.
Yeah. Right.
It was, it just feels like another Samurai Jack season, which is good. But anywho, Ashi disappearing was a sad moment, I'll admit. I know I kind of am downplaying it a lot. It does suck, right? It's just the fact that, Jack seems happy is a really beautiful thing. The fact that...
even with the ladybug. I know you had said... We mentioned it a little bit before, and you were talking about reincarnation as an idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the fact that, that was the first bit of life that Ashi touched as well.
Yeah.
And it's almost to say that, there is still a connection. It's like she quote unquote doesn't exist and never did at this point, but in a way she still did because you still have a memory of her. So yeah.
Also, with Ashi around, you pretty much, like, I have to say, it would have been, like, overpowered as fuck. I know that she doesn't need her powers anymore, but, like, Jesus H. Christ, she could take this show and in a flip of a switch just turn it into Doctor Who. You understand that, right? Like, literally.
I mean, yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
She's literally the Doctor. That's
and
just,
Jack is the companion that has no idea what the fuck just happened.
No, Jack is the fucking star of this show, and he is the Doctor's companion. He is her companion. Like, although I have to say though, it was a funny realization, and I think it was too quick. Like, you have all, like, I can understand some people saying like, oh, that's just convenient, right? But the problem is, right? I won't fight them too hard on it, but I'll just give them a soft, like a little like jab, like a little small fight, the tiniest one. Mm-hmm. None of them knew that they had these powers because they were taught to be subservient and not to think and just to go out and fight. So that was it, right? Now I would hope that maybe she only has one trip in her.
Training. Yeah.
What?
Well, I would say throughout their training. Yeah. Even throughout their training, I don't think they would have been told like, "Hey, you have your or even thought of it in the sense you have your master's essence, like you are an extension of him, so you have all of his powers." I don't think even Aku, like, it doesn't feel like he actually planned them having, or that cult having his quote unquote kids, because even he's like, yes, it's like you have my essence, so you have my powers. But I don't think he thought so far ahead to say, oh wait, that means you also have the time travel power that I used to imprison him here in the future too.
I was just saying that I hope that she only has like one trip because she's half of him. She isn't all of him. Like, she has the essence, but she's not him. Like, all jokes aside, right, it would be terrible if she's like, no, I can send you to any point in time, all the time. It's like, wait, then how are you half of him and not just him? No, seriously, though. Like, being, like, because, again, like, she is his kid. Therefore, she has Aku in her, but not, like, to the point where she's just able to travel around to all different times and places. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bit too much, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I
mean,
feel like,
I would argue that it's just she doesn't have the immortality, per se, that Aku does.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, she's immortal with his powers. So she would, I don't know, I guess kind of be like Hercules in a sense. It's like God powers, but you're still immortal. You're not immortal,
basically.
You're mortal.
Yes. So I don't know what else to say. I got to be honest. I mean, if there's anything else you want to say about this show, either as a whole or just about this season or both, please do.
I love
the floor is yours.
Two other things. Like, I love the fact that all the other peoples that, like, you didn't get to see when Ashi was traveling around, like the Aquarians, I think. I think that's what they were called. But yeah, the ocean people, like everyone, maybe not everyone, because I still think there were some other.
So I call Woolies elephant people, and you're like, hey, don't do that, Matt. So these ocean people.
All right, you know what? You can go fuck yourself.
True.
No, because I'm saying it just because if people don't recognize them by the actual name, and I don't know if I actually got the actual name right. I don't have it up in front of me right now. So I just said that to just blanket. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, no, that's wrong, Matt. That's wrong of me. I can't, I shouldn't dress it up like that. It's like, no, it's just so people know who I'm talking about. That doesn't make it any better. I'm a terrible person. You're right. But anyway, we've already established this multiple times, Matt. I don't know why you keep having me on this show. I'm pulling your ratings down into a terrible, dark, deep pit of hate that Aku spawned from in the very first place. But yet here I am.
He thinks we have ratings. Anyway.
So who's the real villain, Matt? No. But the idea that
Aku?
all these trick
Question
question
mark?
that all of them, because that's what I wanted. Because with episode 9, it was like, okay, is he just going to fight Ashi now, and it's now just going to be the two of them? I'm like, you have to have all the other people that Ashi saw come to save him at one point, please. And then they finally did, and I nearly fell out of my seat because I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. And the fact that the Scotsman, as a ghost, flies in with his magical bagpipes and protects all of them from getting shot by Aku with the needle spray. And the fact that his daughters are riding reindeer into battle. Oh, and the Spartans. That was beautiful, too. Just all the people that, like, Ashi didn't meet face-to-face. Like, they were there, too, but then the dogs and, the tribe, with monkeys, with the human baby, who is now an old man, Jump Good. You even get flying monkeys? No, Jump Good. We even got the Jump Good line.
Oh.
That is like the most iconic line in the whole series, and we got it in the final episode again.
I have to say, that definitely is something that I enjoyed. And I say that in the sense that I think it's just really cool, right, to have a young, I'd say young, like a young staff, because I feel like the staff knows what was popular online and what the fans wanted, or at least, in other words, I feel like they know, like, okay, like, and when creating this, they definitely looked online. I don't know if they did any polls, but like actually looked online, or they had looked online over these years, or just fans at conventions. You know what I'm saying? Like, really kind of in tune with the fan base, because it wasn't just, let's make some cameos. Like, they sat back and they were like, all right, like, should we include any lines or stuff like that? So just the line, like, no, Jump Good. It's like, you're right. Yeah, a lot of people focused on that when it came out, and over the years have said it as jokes and stuff like that. So, like, the fact they put it in the show itself was really fun. Just in general, I feel like, because, like, obviously they love the Scotsman, right, or other characters like him, but, like, they could have said, like, will anyone really care, right? But it feels like for some characters, but it feels like they sat back and they were like, no, people would care, because,
and I love the fact
we saw
that
this,
Jack gets to talk with the Scotsman again. And, like, he's like, are you dead? He's like, yep, in the flesh. That's not what it doesn't matter, laddie, I'm back. Oh. And now you can meet all of my daughters. And he starts listing them off. And I could just imagine Jack, like, look, I mean, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but, like, we are kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And just the idea, he's just like,
God.
and you can have your pick. It's like, I can't. Oh, so they're not good enough for you. He's like, no, I actually met someone. Oh, where is she? Well, that's a little difficult to explain right now. It's like, what do you mean? Just tell me. Points. I don't think she's your type. Oh, my God.
No, it's, again, when they killed him.
The idea of, like, that's the last thing that he says to him. I don't think she's your type, and then she jumps Jack, and the whole, that whole scene plays out.
Yeah. But I just want to say that I want to say, right, that when they killed him, you and I really thought it was the end until they showed the ghost. And we were like, so he's going to definitely appear more. And it's kind of sad that he didn't, in a way. Mm-hmm. Not that I would have wanted, like, a full-on, episode just based on the Scotsman or anything. And he was introduced again late into the season. But I do think that the show would have benefited from 2 more episodes. So I mean, I don't know, like, if there were any limitations on them. If Cartoon Network thought that if there was, 10 is enough, right? Like, we don't know how much fanfare there might.
Yeah, compared to the original 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanted 13, but I think 12 would have been nice. But still, even 11, honestly, just 1 more episode and having 10, 11 be like a 2-parter. But still, I just feel like when, like, them introducing, the Scotsman again so late in the season, and then, of course, killing him, like, again, once they showed the ghost, we thought, okay, there has to be some more here. And there was, right, in this episode, but not much. Let's be real, not much. But it's okay, right, because in true Scotsman fashion, that was the last thing he said to Jack. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure, that's the last thing you two said to each other. Yeah. Anyway, so, I mean, if there's anything else that you want to say, then say it. And if not, then forever hold your peace. You are Tristan. You jump good.
Yes, I do. I'm glad we didn't kill off too many of the side characters, or at least you didn't see really, like, of the people that come to help Jack, because when the dog, like, the older dog, and one of them gets shot down, he's like, oh no. I'm like, don't you dare blow him up. Yeah. And then Aku gets, oh, right, that was the other one. The robots that he saved from the giant Mondo bot, they hook up the stone samurai and make it into a giant robot. And Aku's just like, oh, a giant stone samurai. What are you going to... Punches him in the face. And he just stops. And then he does it again and again and again and again and again. He even rips his antenna off. Or his antlers. Or, Scaramouche even calls it. Can you even hear what those antler things, dude? Get on with it! Jacko has lost his Sordo. Oh, yeah. Scaramouche returns for 0.5 seconds until he realizes that he's failed Aku. Well, I mean, he did lose it. Boom! Well, that's the end of it then.
Well, but that's the thing, though, right? It makes no, but that's the funny thing, though, because it makes so much sense, right? Like, if he had gotten there earlier, then Jack would be dead. But of course, he ends up telling him after, because I was telling you, I was like, Jack already got the sword, so it's basically like, it's just a given that we're gonna have Scaramouche come out and be like, he's lost his sword, baby, and then of course he didn't, because he got it back when Scaramouche wasn't looking. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, it sucked that he died, but again, I think many people were kind of hoping for that in the first episode that he appeared in. Like, I feel like there's some people that enjoy his comic relief, but there's others that are like, just fucking kill him already. Right. So I think some people might have cheered that on, like when it happened, I mean, just like, yeah.
I think some people even got like that reaction from Jack too, just like when he steps out and he's like, guess who told Aku your big secret, buddy? Jack's just like his eyes. He doesn't say anything, but he just squints. He's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. But yes, so no, I'm just saying that we're going to wrap things up here. So if there's anything about the show itself, because it seems like we will not be returning to talk about it, anything you want to say?
This is our last Jack cast.
Yes, back to the cast. No, we're. I have podcasted for 4 years. I do not age. Time does not affect me. But seriously,
was a lovely run.
It was.
And I have to thank, special thanks to Genndy Tartakovsky and all of the other writers and animators and everybody else that worked on the show.
Who came back?
I doubt
many of them came back.
Oh, yeah. Like, I doubt any, obviously none of them would ever hear this, but, a lot of people have poured out to them and just like that, I'm glad you revisited this and came back to it and actually gave closure to something that meant a lot to a lot of us in our childhood. And, maybe even for someone like you who didn't watch it as a kid but, got into it as the new season came out, everyone took I feel like a lot of people took away something from this, and it was just a really, really lovely piece of animation.
So something really funny when you said you were saying, oh, they're not going to listen to this because we're very small at this point, but the way you said it, you're like, they will never hear this transmission, but they must know that they jump good, they write good. I just loved it. If you could hear this transmission, Tartakovsky, understand. Tartakovsky, understand. You write good. The space station explodes. We're podcasting from a space station. Yeah. I just want to say that look, I've said what I've said about seasons 1 to 4, right? I've said good things, I've said bad things, but I just feel like this show exists. The season 5 exists for a reason. Like, this isn't some kind of, like, I don't think there was a focus group that came together and it was just like, oh, let's bring back Samurai Jack because it's just making money, right? Like, I had seen nothing of Samurai Jack until they announced it, and then they were promoting the first 4 seasons again on Cartoon Network, right? Or on Boomerang. Jack really did go dormant for a bit. Kind of like just not underground, because again, it was on Cartoon Network, that's not underground, but it did lie dormant for a little bit, and I would assume that Tartakovsky kind of just went to Cartoon Network and said, I think it's time, right? Or maybe they even approached him, but I don't think it was done via some back. How sometimes there's certain movies that might be made, right? And you're like, I think that's just trying to cash in on my nostalgia. Now, granted, I'm buying a ticket. But I think they're trying to cash in on my nostalgia, right? I don't feel like this show was made just to cash in on that. The fact they even ended it here makes it feel like they just wanted to come back with an ending because of the way seasons 1 to 4 were made and kind of just, dropped because it's just a cartoon, quote unquote, it was just a cartoon at a time when cartoons were good, but many of them were just if they didn't I know that there was Kids Next Door a few years later and other stuff around the time, but I can't think of cartoons around that time, despite how good they were, that had a definitive ending that I can go, that is when the show ended. They just kind of happened, and then after a while it was just okay, have we either reached syndication or is this time for us to just, cut the cord? And then they did, right? Thankfully, Jack never got into that weird 2003 phase with, Ed, Edd and Eddy and Powerpuff Girls. Remember when they got the newer, updated animation?
Oh, God.
Do you remember those, right? I think Dexter's Lab had it, too. Thankfully, they never got into that territory. But still, I'm just saying that I really enjoy that they brought this back because it feels organic. Right, it doesn't feel like people sat back and and got test groups in and said, hey, how would you feel about this? Or, oh, let's look at the ratings for the old episodes, something like that. No, it just feels like they said we want to finish our story. And obviously, despite some of the more crass humor, I feel like Adult Swim was the perfect venue.
Yeah.
And Toonami was the perfect venue. It just makes sense. And I also hope that even though Jack is done, right, I would prefer that they keep it going and and bring it up every once in a while. Keep it going as in, bring up the either older episodes or current episodes of season 5, kind of just at the end of Toonami. As the maybe not in the next month or so, but I would like to keep up having Jack runs kind of just pop up on Toonami.
Yeah.
I would hate for it to be oh, man, season 5 was great. Anyway, never showing up again. See ya. You could put it at 3:30 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. The funny thing is
they're
having a marathon next Saturday of the whole season.
Yes, because next Saturday is Memorial Day weekend, ? Or no?
Yes, it is.
There we go. Yes, there we go.
Monday.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Holiday weekend.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense because holiday weekend. But I think, it's also nice that it's, the season finished. But, if you missed any of it, here's the whole thing for you one more time.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. In this digital age, I don't think anyone would say, dang it, I missed one, right? But it definitely is nice. Well, I'm sorry. It's on their website. And it's, you have DVR, other ways to access it that I'm not going to go into. I don't think anyone sat there and went, dang it, I missed one, but I guess I'll keep on going with the show.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? With anyone who was, at least in our generation, who grew up with it, they're not sitting there dang it, I missed one. But I guess I'll watch it Memorial Day weekend. No, they're saying, yes, I get the marathon all of it Memorial Day weekend.
Mm.
They're happy about marathoning it, but I doubt that anyone in our generation was I missed one. That sucks. It's no, there's so many different ways. Even you, where you're not that, and this is according to you, this isn't me shitting on Tristan, you're not that technologically literate. But you're like, it's on Adult Swim's website for free after it airs. It's that simple.
Right. Okay.
Now Tristan hates me. Anyway, but yeah, I just, I really enjoyed this show, right? There was ups and downs, but I enjoyed it. And I'm happy it's come to a close because Jack's alive, right? Because guess what? We could have killed Jack. We could have killed Jack, and he could have been like, but if you put the sword into Aku now, then he will die. And you could have done that. And it's like, no,
right.
Thankfully they undid all of the bad things that Aku did. It's sad that there were nice people there.
Yeah.
But, so actually, you know what? I want to leave you on one question. What would have made you more sad? Ashi, disappearing and, on Jack and her on their wedding day? Or if he had come back with the Scotsman and his ghost would disappear? Which one makes you more sad?
Oh,
I might have to go with the Scotsman.
God damn it, man.
Not on their wedding day. I'm just saying if, I don't think he's getting married to the Scotsman. I'm just saying that, what would happen if the Celtic ghost would disappear?
Yes. I probably would have died more inside if it was the Scotsman who disappeared. I'm not going to lie. I can't.
And then slowly but surely all of his daughters are disappearing behind him.
All right, that's just fucked up.
I think it's just funnier that way. No, Dad! And they all just disappear slowly, all behind him.
Oh,
literally,
God.
Jack's dad and mom. Who were all of those people?
Oh,
jeez. But yeah. So I just want to thank you all for listening in, and I hope you had a great time. And if you want to listen to our older Samurai Jack episodes, you can find them over. Well, I'm assuming you're listening to us through Blog Talk Radio, which is blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysontherradio. But you might not be listening to us through there. You might be listening to us through our iTunes, right, which is also, you search up Those Guys on iTunes, you can find us on there and find our old Samurai Jack episodes on there that are for our Anna Saturday podcasts. You could also be listening to us through our YouTube channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio, where we have our backlogged shows on there as well. A bunch of backlog. All of our old stuff is on there. And yeah, you can listen to our old podcasts through there. In no way are we opposed to doing a Samurai Jack video game in the future, not a podcast, but a Let's Play. We actually have our Let's Play channel, which is Those Guys Play, over at our YouTube channel, Those Guys Play. So you search up Those Guys Play on YouTube and you'll find us. And yeah, not opposed to doing Samurai Jack. In fact, Tristan and I just beat, speaking of something else from our childhood, you and I just beat Dragon Ball Z Budokai for the PS2. So yeah, I just want to thank you all. That's all. Just thank you guys for listening in, because it's been a fun ride. So love you guys. It's funny. I want to promote our stuff and be like, we have merchandise, tgproduction.net/merchandise. But it feels so inappropriate, even though it's a television show. But it feels so inappropriate. It's just like, Matt, should you mention the Patreon, TG Production? It's like, no, I can't. If I say that they could, I'm slowly promoting it. Anyway, thank you all. Love you guys. Take care, and say good night, Tristan.
He got back to the past.
Good night, Jack.